Welcome to the Rad Dad Redemption Podcast. Here's your hosts, Drew and Dex.
We were like blowing up our whole content, so we're like, we gotta hit record, let's go.
It was getting too good. It was getting spicy.
The people that are tuning in now, aka everyone, because nobody has the ability to like be present in the room previously. Those of you,
if you're just joining us, you clearly just hit play. Welcome to the Rad Dad Redemption
You missed
podcast.
like a whole podcast pre-podcast. You missed the pre-cum of the goon.
Yeah, okay, that was pretty goony. You're going to Vegas.
Yeah, I just booked my flights today.
And what was the catalyst here? Why?
So it's been a long time planning. So like Alicia's grandfather passed away just over a year ago now. And when he was unwell and obviously eventually passed away, Alicia's uncle was like, we need to do like kind of all the guys get together. Like, you know, everybody's spread out across Canada and the US. It's like, we don't get together enough. And it's unfortunate. Like these negative events bring us together.
Let's take granddad down to Vegas.
Yeah. Right. So it's like, let's plan this boys trip basically. And by marriage, I guess I was included in this boys trip. And so I was like, you don't gotta threaten me with a good time. Like all you had to say was Vegas. There didn't actually have to be a reason to go, but this does make it easier to sell to my wife.
Okay. Yeah.
So we actually planned this. We booked Circa on.
Hey, honey, I know you're probably still really sad about your beloved Peepaw passing away. Yeah, but I think I want to go to Vegas to honor him.
Yeah,
yeah. It's an obvious sell.
Well, it was a great honor for me to be invited. I definitely was like, as they were talking about it, I was thinking like, I still sometimes think I'm like ancillary to the family unit, even though we've been together since like I was 20 years old.
That's fair.
But I still feel like I'm not a part of that family unit. And so when they were talking about this, I was like, that's going to be super fun for all you guys. And then they sent the email and I was on it. I was CC'd on the invite. And I think I was like one of the first to reply. I was like, hell yeah, man, I love Vegas. I love gambling. That's my shit. Anyway, so we booked Circa. We got some suites. And so it's cool because like all the boys are going. So there's like definitely like the older generation of the family, right? Like Alicia's uncles, her dad. And then there's like the younger generation. So like Alicia's cousin, her brother, myself, we're going. So it's going to be like two different crews going.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I got to pause. I feel like we're having two different conversations. And the thing is, you're telling me this is like a trip you guys are all going on because it's like, we got to get the family together. But we
have to leave our wives behind though.
Yeah. I'm still stuck on the beloved grandfather passed away, and I don't want to be insensitive, and I'm not going to be insensitive. But like, was this like, oh, life is short, we should all get together? Like that's the idea? Or was he like on his deathbed being like, you guys?
If you knew her grandpa, I think he probably wasn't like Vegas trip boys. Like he was former like pastor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like, I don't think he was like, you boys need to go rip it up in Vegas, Sin City.
Yeah, that's what I'm still trying to get. I'm trying to figure this out.
No, I think really like where it came from was again like we don't get together enough, and these sad things, these funerals, these like, you know, getting together to say your final goodbyes type thing. That's what brings us together, and that's not a good vibe. That's not what you want to always be bringing the family together. Right?
Now I'm with you. Let's not wait for a tragedy in the family to see all of you. Let's just get together because we want to see each other. Yeah.
And I think there's some other elements to it. Like, obviously a lot of the older guys now are retired or retiring. And so it's like, you know, they're like, well, we don't really travel for work or anything. That's how they would often get together. Like, hey, I'm in town for work or whatever. Like, so it's like, you need a reason sort of to get together. And they're like, let's go to Vegas. And I was like, yeah, hell yeah. So I booked my flights today.
Congrats, man.
I'm getting on that.
Merry fucking Christmas.
Merry Christmas to me.
Yeah, hell yeah.
This is our Christmas special.
Jingle bell,
jingle bell, jingle bell.
If you couldn't fucking guess.
This is our Christmas special.
This is our Vegas Christmas special. Yeah. Welcome back.
It's lovely to have you back in the basement. It's been a minute.
Yep. Lots has happened.
Lots has happened. Because the last episode we did was our pre-US election special.
Right before.
There's like the day before.
Yeah.
And we had AI Donald Trump on.
That wasn't him?
Yo, when I posted that reel, this thing popped up and it was like, would you like to mark this as AI? If you don't, like we could ban your account for not properly disclosing AI, especially like political content.
Okay.
And so I had to market it. If you go look at the reel, it's like, this is AI generated.
This is not Donald Trump.
Yeah, so I guess like maybe
Which
so we don't
probably
get
pissed
sued.
off a lot of American Real Truth listeners. However, they obviously wouldn't have checked to see the small print.
They don't fact check.
They just listen.
And then I tried to promote it because I was like, that's a super funny bit. Like probably one of our, I mean, yeah, I'm patting myself on the back. I realize that.
Yeah.
I'm very biased because it's our podcast and I think I'm funny and I think you're funny, but still.
We just talked about this, how much content we have that is like, again,
we make this for us.
from our perspective, is like criminally fucking underrated.
Yeah.
I just got drunk the other night and went through all of our old reels and killed myself laughing.
Yeah. I mean, we're amazing.
So pat yourself on the back.
It's
I get
honestly
it.
a shame that our podcast is not bigger. And I don't say a shame for like us. I just mean people are missing out. You know, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, we've done like no marketing.
We've done nothing to grow this.
Oh my God.
It's a shame.
I'm all out of ideas. So you're patting yourself on the back.
Yeah.
You're going
But I tried to promote it.
Yeah.
And it went into review because it was like, is this political content? And of course, it's like the day of the election. So like everybody's on edge. Like, can't be spreading misinformation. I was like, this is political and like heavy misinformation. Like this is
just
misinformation.
Misinformation.
And I would like to pay for you to put this on other people's feeds.
I'd like
is
to
ultimately
promote.
what
I'd
I
like
was
to
trying
promote
do.
this misinformation.
Yeah. And so they reviewed our ad and it got declined.
Really?
Yeah. Meta was like, we don't want your money.
Huh.
Yep. So that sucked. I feel like it would have really taken off.
No, I just feel like that's what got shut down. That's another example. Like
Yeah.
our big radio episode where it's like we gotta censor these guys.
You gotta censor this account with like 200 followers tops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was, but it was you called it though during the episode. You're like, I think Trump is gonna win. All the polls were saying Kamala's gonna win, and you're like, no, I think it's gonna be Trump. And he like won by like a healthy margin.
Landslide.
Yeah.
And I have nothing. It's now not the point where I go, well, here's all the things that was pointing to that. And I just kind of read the signs. I had my ear to the ground. My people were telling me. I was just going full 2016. Like, it makes sense. It's the craziest thing that could happen. It's probably what will happen. He's going to win, guaranteed. And here we are.
Yeah.
25% tariffs.
25% tariffs coming down the pipeline. Yeah. So that was pretty wild.
Yeah.
And that's my unpacking of that. All right.
All right. Next segment.
I mean, we're not a political podcast, so we'll start and leave it there, I guess.
Yeah. What else has happened? We had your see how I've been doing this lately, really working myself
team.
in. We had your show again at the Laugh Shop, and that was a very fun night.
It was, I would say, of all the Laugh Shop nights, like probably the best one overall for like not just necessarily myself, but overall for all the amateurs. I thought all the amateurs were at a base level good, and some of them were incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely would say that the opening acts were the best I've seen. So much so that I think even a couple of them maybe overshadowed the main act.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would say the last guy that went up, Sterling was his name.
Yeah.
And he was on. If you've watched Canada's Got Talent, he was like the Golden Buzzer winner. He didn't ultimately end up winning Canada's Got Talent, but he was one of the finalists. He was hilarious, and he was amateur. I mean, he is like in my mind a professional comedian, but he was there as an open micer amateur practicing some of his jokes.
Well, he was absolutely a professional, and it was, very clear that he was grinding. He talked about how much work he was doing to actually get exposure. He's the anti-us, like
he's actually treating it like a career.
Yeah. The amount of shows he was going that night after there to do a guest spot, a late night guest spot in the city. The other thing I really appreciated about him is that after his set, he was just like, and 1 second, please. I'm also selling merch. And you can just pay me whatever you want for the merch. I'll be at that back table. And if you don't want any of my gear, you don't want any of my shirts, I'm also giving away weed. So if you come buy a hat, come buy a shirt, you'll get a free gift with purchase. And I thought, that's incredible. I can't imagine that's allowed. but he's really up here. He's really up here. He's doing it. He's making him, making a mark. What was the main guy? Dave Nystrom?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he was good. He was good. I just felt like the entire opening set kind of had it had a very multicultural vibe. Like you were the whitest person in the building.
That's not hard.
No.
I often am the whitest person wherever I go, but yeah.
But even your brand of comedy, that not to...
Well, when my opening bit was, or not even a bit, a joke, because the guys that had gone before me, the first guy was from Egypt.
Yeah.
And the second guy was from Syria. And they had talked about their experiences and here's what's different and my cultural experiences between Egypt and Canada or Syria and Canada. And their set was very heavily based on that. Here's the differences. And they were quite funny. I went up, so I'm following these two guys who have very worldly experiences. And my opening bit was well, I was, born in Calgary, moved to Okotoks. My entire life story can be told within 30-kilometer radius of this room. All right, see you later.
Yeah.
That's all I got. My journey's not very interesting.
Not going to touch that.
But it got a good laugh at the start, which was nice because I was a little worried about the build up to my first joke. Obviously I hadn't done these jokes live, or I kind of had the second bit, but not the first bit. And so I was worried about the build up. I was like, is it going to be too long before I get a laugh? And it's going to be quiet for 30, 40 seconds of my 5 minutes.
You had a warm crowd. It was a good night. It was a good set.
Yeah. So, overall, I felt like I did great, but it was one of those nights where it was I've often left after all the amateurs have gone and been oh, I think I was the best amateur, right? That did not happen that night. I was no, there was 2 or 3 guys that absolutely killed it. And not that means I didn't do well or anything, but there's been nights where we've gone and there's been 1 or 2 people that bomb. I
expect it actually. I don't say I look forward to it, but it is kind of part of the experience.
Yeah,
it's one of the things that scares me away. Every time I've said it on the show too. Every time you go up and do it, I'm oh, toss me the mic, I'm next. But then you see these guys go up. And they're the guy that is I can do it. Everyone can do stand-up comedy. And they go up and it's oh, you fucking can't. You were at a wedding and one time somebody laughed at a story you told.
Yeah.
And you're taking this way, 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 way too far. That was not the case. Everyone was up making hilarious jokes. And that's what I said. I actually think it kind of detracted from Nystrom's set because he came up and it wasn't oh, I'm the headliner, I'm the professional, I'm going to save the show now. It was everyone was already we'd been laughing all fucking night.
Yeah.
He there was pressure for him. He had to come up and do his fucking thing because it was already going so well with everyone else.
And I would say, there's been a few times, both times where we've gone where it's there's been some people that were kind of weak. And the professional really come out and I wouldn't say saved the show, but definitely gave it a great bow. Right?
Yeah.
Wrapped it all up. Fantastic night. Whereas he came out and that's the first time where I felt man, I would not want to be a professional in that situation where you've got to go do 45 minutes, 30 minutes, and everybody's just done 5 or 10 minutes of their absolute best shit and absolutely killed. And then you got to come out and you could write a 30-minute set and it's not all going to be bangers, right? There's going to be some slow building jokes and stuff like that. And it was he I thought he did great, but it was a tough spot to be in.
Well, and to bring it back to the stories of culture that were being shared that night, he very much came out and was I took my 4 children in a minivan on a cross country tour. And, the crowd was kind of there to support everyone who was opening. And it was he was the guy that was the outsiders, the disconnect. It's we're not all fucking driving our caravan with our 4 sons having a family vacation. He had to really work hard to sell and connect, whereas it felt like everyone was there to support those opening acts, and they all brought their crew. So it was, it must have been tough for him, but he did a good job. Whatever.
Yeah. Well, like I said, absolute base level. You picked the worst person there that night. I don't even know who you would name that to be. Not that it matters, but it's you picked the worst person there that night. They did good. Yeah. Right. It was it wasn't oh, guy bombed and got 0 laughs for 5 minutes, which has happened every other time we've been.
Yeah.
No, it was everybody was good.
I posted yours. You can go on our Instagram and check out a couple minutes of Dex's set. You definitely, the closer was Like you got a lot of moans and groans, but it's because it was hardcore.
Yeah.
You fucking went.
It was like
you went for it. At
you know
the
what's
end
so funny is there was a lady, like if you go watch the bit, but it's like me talking about a hip hop lyric from Big Sean where he says I give her bomb D and do damage, and the whole bit is about me talking about how hard it is to damage a pussy, and like
not Big Sean.
Yeah, and so I was like talking about like all the different ways you could damage one, and there's this lady in the front row, and she was killing me. Like I almost laughed a whole bunch of times, not at my own jokes, but at this lady, because she was like, people can't see me, but she's got her hands over her mouth, wide eyed, and she's just like, oh my god. Like that would hurt.
Yeah, she's mortified.
Yeah. She was laughing, but she was also like, holy fuck.
When you 2-foot potato sack jumped into a vagina as part of your bit, yeah.
I got some moans. I got some laughs.
Yeah, I was right there. I was laughing.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Made some good connections. Maybe some more comedy shows in my future.
Yeah, hell yeah. No, that's a good summation is leaving that one, the team, the Dex team, starting to feel more like not just a guy who has shown up a few times. It's definitely getting that vibe of like there's a foot in the door now.
Yeah, getting invites to other people's shows that they run around town. Yeah,
it might be something that happens a little more frequently, and then that's just gonna be cyclical. You get more comfortable, you get more material, more opportunities, and that's fucking great. It's great for us.
Yeah,
you're gonna get so big you'll need an opener or a roadie. Right?
Or both. Comedy doesn't pay well, I'm told. So
oh man.
Yeah.
And then the other big occurrence since we last recorded that we were just enthralled with was of course the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight.
Which was like,
yeah.
I mean, it feels like everybody should have seen it coming from a mile away, and with the benefit of hindsight, you're like, oh, like this is exactly what we all should have expected.
Yeah, there was a weird sense of like they told you right up front. Like you meet this guy and he's the world's greatest salesman, and he's like, in this bag that I hold in my hand, it is literal dog shit. This bag is filled with dog shit, and you could buy it for way too much money. You could spend way too much time with this dog shit. You don't need it. It's literal dog shit. And you're just like, wait, I think I need this fucking bag.
You really sell me on this dog shit.
And then you watch like 14 promos on the bag. You watch a bunch of, retired boxing veterans talk about, that bag of shit. I don't know. It was exactly what you could have expected. And it was also exactly the intention of Jake Paul and that giant Netflix marketing machine. Like they fucking got us.
Oh yeah.
They got me. I can't tell you how many pre-fight reports I read about both camps and like what was happening in training. I don't know fucking shit about boxing. You got me to care and pretend like I knew about a thing.
Yeah.
And then you watch it and you're like, oh, it's a 27-year-old fighting a fucking like ex crackhead. Like it was fucking like, brutal, man.
Who's prime, and people forget that like his career. Yes, at one point he was the best, but the end of his career, he was getting fucking knocked out. Like he did not retire on top, right? Like he didn't walk out and like there goes the best to ever do it. It's not like if like McDavid retired tomorrow and you're like, man, like what great years did we miss? It's like no, like we saw Mike Tyson's worst years, and that was like 25 years ago.
Yeah, and I don't want to, I just call him a crackhead. And some people probably, just like the lady in the front row, guffawed at that. But let's not discount history here. Time heals all, and I feel like the guy's had a renaissance. And he's definitely like back in popular culture, and he is getting the respect he deserves for a lot of the amazing things he did in the sport. Absolutely. But let's not forget,
he's not a good person.
He's not a good person, man. Like he was banned from fighting in a lot of states.
Yeah.
He certainly has.
He went to prison.
Yeah, he was like
for sexual assault.
He's
it's not like he went to prison for like Martha Stewart crimes. Like no, he did like the worst crime.
Alleged rapist. Yeah. Like I said, major history with substance abuse, and you absolutely nailed it. Towards the end of his career, it was not Iron Mike. It was like I'll do anything for a hoagie Mike because I'm broke. because of all these fucking legal problems. And yeah, there was like, I remember being a kid and there was talk of him like fighting a woman for money and it just like anything to collect a check. And the last fight I did see of his, because I can't remember, he's had he came out of retirement like 20 years ago for a fight, right? Yeah. When was his last fight before Jake Paul?
Well, didn't he come out for one during COVID, but then it didn't happen or something? He was supposed to fight somebody else, I feel like, and he was working out and getting ready for that fight.
Are you guys hearing this? Like, we don't know anything
anyway,
fucking about
like,
this.
I don't, and I that's the thing is I don't watch combat sports. Like, I don't watch UFC. It's just not my thing. It's not like I have like some moral, aversion to it. It's just not my thing. I don't watch combat sports. And so like I was thinking about it. I was like, the last boxing match I would have watched before this, I think was like Pacquiao and Mayweather.
Okay.
And that was, I still lived in Medicine Hat. I remember watching it at a bar in Medicine Hat. So like, I don't know, at least 8 years ago.
Yeah, I can't, like, there was a few, I used to work at a bar. And so like we would get the pay-per-views. And so I saw a couple Pacquiao fights, against Juan Marquez, obviously the Mayweather fight. I think maybe there was a couple in like 2008, like Oscar De La Hoya was still fighting and our dude Shayna was really into boxing. And I was like, yeah, I want to watch those too. But like, just very much like it's a social thing. We're going to drink beers. This fight, this Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight, this was the first one that I was like, I need to fucking read everything about it. I need to get well informed. Obviously I'm not. And then it was just the biggest letdown, like from the start.
And like in multiple ways, right? Like obviously the fight wasn't that good. The fight itself wasn't that good.
No.
Netflix really dropped the ball on the streaming quality. Like people's streams are freezing. It was going down to like fucking 200p resolution. You were like, oh, these 2 pixels are fighting.
That was weird. You had to pause and let it buffer, stop and restart, and then it was not live. Like that was the only way we got it to work, because we had to back it up to the point where we could just kind of watch the almost live feed. And I talked to a few people like, oh, my stream was fine. And I was like, well, you're defending like this big faceless corporation, Netflix. Like they've already got our money. My experience was brutal. And from what I read, the majority of people's experiences was brutal. They didn't have enough bandwidth to fucking host this thing.
Yeah. And which is crazy because like, I mean, maybe if somebody more technology oriented than I am is listening, they're going to be like, well, this is a very reductive way to put it. But these streaming companies, how they operate is they, they have deals with like AWS, Amazon Web Service, or Microsoft Azure, right? And these are giant server farms. And when you don't buy fixed space, you're not like, hey, I need 200 servers for my operation. You buy and you pay, and it expands with your usage, right? So you can pay and say, hey, we need up to this, and we're willing to pay up to this, right? And so to me, it feels like Netflix was just like kind of cheaping out. Like they didn't want to pay for the extra server usage that they needed because they were probably doing this math in their head. Like, well, yeah, we've got X number of subscribers, but if we go right up to our limit, then we're not going to actually make any money off of this, right? I don't know. Maybe that didn't happen in the background, but that's what it felt like.
When they made fucking money, and there's the punchline to this whole thing, is it was a really boring fight. There's lots of people who are saying like, "Oh, those undercards were great." I'm like, yeah, but I didn't know any of those people.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
The women's undercard was an amazing fight, but yeah, like,
oh man, what was that? The one girl with her fucking like eye.
Her eyebrow was like hanging over her eye. It was,
I was watching it as
like detached.
They can't let this fight go on.
Yeah, and then they're like, no, it's good.
This is spooky. I remember specifically watching, and they're like, don't worry, she's got the best cut man and all of boxing, and it's just like this dude smashing Vaseline into this.
I was like, she needs stitches. She needs 10 to 20 stitches. Yeah. No amount of Vaseline, like unless you got super glue.
This guy spits on it, like, all right, get back out there. You're fine. That was hard to watch. That was like a definite medical emergency. But I didn't know who those people were before that was on. And
you probably wouldn't have watched it if
there
wasn't a big hyped up main card.
And you're watching the fight, and just it's immediately. It looks like Jake Paul was downtown Beltline waiting for a train, and he woke up a bum, and the guy was like trying to shoo him off his box. That's what Mike Tyson's approach to fighting looked like. It looked like his legs didn't work. Did you see that? Like the hopping back and
even
forth?
just walking in, I was like, he doesn't look like he's actually like ready to fight.
No.
I was like, this guy looks like he looks like he's out for like a drunken stroll.
Yeah. He just comes in by himself, no crew, whatever. And that's when I became aware. I was like, well, of course. He doesn't give a shit. No one gives a shit. He's going to get paid $20 million to walk out there and have the most forgettable fight we've all ever watched.
He's getting paid $20 million, and he really just wants to make it so he doesn't get his ass whooped.
Yeah. Yeah, great success for him.
Yeah.
And Jake Paul, $40 million, this huge promotion. And he just announced today he's retiring from the sport.
Did he?
Yeah. A sport that is that fake news?
I didn't see that, but I don't keep up with that.
Okay. If you hear the like Weibo jingle.
Well, I'm going to Google it now so we can fact check it. But
yeah. Quick pause.
Yeah. Well,
we'll edit this out.
Yeah. No, it says Jake Paul has declared he's retired from influencer boxing.
What the fuck is influencer boxing?
I think it's like non-professional boxing, I guess.
This is what he was never professionally boxing.
Today he announced it. Probably because people are kind of shit talking him after that one. And they're like, you need to do a real fight. Like you need to quit fighting like retired boxers, former MMA fighters in a sport that they did not participate in, right? People were like, okay, if you're going to go out and you're going to be making all this money, you're going to be like hyping everything up, you need to do a real fight.
That's who Mike Tyson fought. It was a former MMA guy. Was Rashad Evans? Who was it? Man, we're
me get out my Googly
so well informed.
Well, yeah, like I don't give a fuck.
That was his previous fight, and he definitely, and maybe I'm mistaking who it actually was in the ring, but it also was pretty lackluster, right?
Yeah. So his last actual professional fight was in 2005. Yeah, and he fought Roy Jones Jr. in 2020. That was the one that I was talking about. And that ended in a draw.
Okay.
But yeah, his last actual professional fight was in 2005, and he lost to Kevin McBride.
And that's the one, I actually saw that one, and in the post-fight, he just comes out and he's like, I don't love this.
Yeah, well, he said I was just reading the quote. He said his heart's not in it, and he feels like he's disrespecting the sport. So something changed in 10 years between 2005, and it's probably his bank account balance.
Yeah, I know it fucking changed. That hangover money ran out.
Yeah. So I don't know, but it was super underwhelming. I feel like maybe Jake Paul was like, no, I'm going to retire, because people are like, you need to fight a real boxer, like somebody in their prime, if you're going to call yourself this like elite boxer and get $40 million.
Well, now he's made all this money. He's laughing all the way to the bank. He's gonna do the next thing, right? Another thing I found really wild about that event was like the color commentators, like the panel they had. Like, who the fuck were those guys? Like, that was the weird thing about the whole promotion, was that not only were half the fighters not actual fighters, they're just YouTubers, influencers, but the people they may as well have got us to come on and fucking talk about it. They had like Cedric the Entertainer. They had the girl from White Men Can't Jump, like Woody Harrelson's love interest, and like no one knew what the fuck they were talking about at all. It was just this blind leading the blind, super uninteresting, super uninformative, wet fart event, and then ended. Like, I think I turned it off in the 9th round or 8th round, whatever it fucking was.
Well, and it was funny because they poured so much money into it. And then it feels like they cut corners. Like, you think about all the celebrities that they showed in that stadium for that fight. You're like, man, you couldn't have, like, they're going to be there anyway. You couldn't have paid one of them like $20,000 to be a commentator. Like, I don't know, like Rob Gronkowski. He does NFL football, right? Like he at least would have been funny.
Yeah.
Right. Like, all these guys are there. You got Shaq there. He's a Stitch. He does the TNT basketball.
They're smart enough. They are fucking smart enough to be like, no thanks.
Probably.
Here to watch.
Yeah.
Not to perform.
But you think they would have turned down like a big check just to commentate this fucking farce?
No.
Yeah.
But
I'm thinking they probably weren't asked. They were like, who will do this for $2,000?
Yeah, they're already saving money at that point.
Yeah.
Saving money on bandwidth, saving money on who they had to actually kind of run the program. Yeah, it was brutal. But of course, we fucking knew it would be. All watched it anyway.
Well, and I feel like I talked myself into like Mike Tyson's gonna murder Jake Paul.
Okay.
And I feel like that narrative was going around, especially like the pre-fight videos. You saw Tyson, he was like, they're showing him before he started training, they're showing him now. He's like, he's obviously jacked. He's with his trainer, he's throwing these fucking crazy punches.
That's how they get you. It's the fucking multimedia manipulation, because they show him throwing all these fucking crazy combos. If they would have showed that guy try and do one round of hopscotch, everyone would have been like, oh no. Oh God.
Yeah, when he came up with the knee brace, you're like, oh, he's fucked.
He's so fucking toast. That's exactly how they got me. I was team Mike Tyson. So unlike how I called the American election, I was so confident in Mike Tyson. I bet my wife's 20-something cousin, like, I bet it was one of those things, like nuclear arms race, where he was like, oh, Jake Paul's going to destroy. And I was like, wow, yeah, right. Like, Mike Tyson, he's the champ. He's a really good guy. He's done all these amazing things throughout his life. He's going to fucking destroy Jake Paul. It doesn't matter that he's 58. I've been reading up on him and watching the footage. And it was one of those things where like, okay, I'll bet you a jug of beer. And I was like, why stop there? How about some wings? Little wingy poos. And he's like, yeah, sure. And I was like, why stop there? Okay, loser has to shotgun a beer as well. And it became this, like, I think the losing person now has to do 3 or 4 shotguns in a row.
The losing person, aka you.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's going to be a mess. It's a messy night. Messy bet that I got to make good on. But I was fucking confident. And then you watch it, and I was like, shit, I'm an idiot. I'm such a moron.
But yeah, like, no, you watch these videos, and you are so convinced. You are so convinced that he's back, baby. Yeah, but then you realize, you're like, oh, well, no, he's punching stationary, objects. Like, he's punching things that were designed to take punches so you can train to be a better boxer. He's not punching somebody who's actively trying to avoid those punches, who's also trying to punch him back.
Yeah. Yeah, such an idiot.
Well, I don't want to say you're an idiot, because I fully was in on I had the same vibe. I was like, yeah.
It's all that's wrong with this world. All the people that were saying that he did have a chance, like, getting me going too. Like, I bet you they got paid to say that. I bet you they were in on the promotion.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, everyone's like, that fight was rigged. I'm like, no, the whole fucking system's rigged. We're the ones that got beat up.
Everything's rigged.
Everything's rigged.
I'm going off grid.
Going to Vegas.
Hell yeah. And then off grid. I'm gonna be in one of those documentaries. Have you seen those people that go to Vegas and like lose everything and then end up living in like the sewer systems?
What would you do
if I lost everything in Vegas?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm coming home. I'll be honest with you.
To your wife and kids?
How do you look your wife and kids in the eyes and be like, Daddy went on a 4-day trip and everything's gone. We have to move. Like, they're not gonna stay with you anyway. Like, if I came back and I looked at my wife and I said, hey, shit went downhill. Like, all the credit cards are maxed out, line of credit's maxed out. We
immediately have to move.
We've got to sell the house, take every bit of equity. That's probably not even going to cover all the debt that I just accrued. Like, we're still going to be in debt after we sell the house, and nobody's going to prove us for a mortgage because I'm up to my eyeballs in debt. Like, do you think my wife's going to be like, it's okay, like, we'll get through this together? No. She's going to be like, okay, like, we'll do all of that to get you out of this situation, but I never want to fucking see you again. And you're not allowed near the kids, you irresponsible fuck.
See, this might be my misplaced, like, Mike Tyson's gonna win bravado, but I think my wife's staying with me.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. I think love conquers all.
All right, Meg, text me your answer to that question so I can bring it up on the next podcast.
She'd be mad.
Do you think there's a threshold of like debt that you come home with where it's like up to this point? Because I think if I came home and I was like, hey, Alicia, like, I fucked up, I lost 10 grand. She'd be mad. She'd be mad for sure. But she'd be like, well, like, you can make that back. Like, you're definitely not sleeping in my bed for a couple months. You're sleeping on the couch. But like, we will fix this together. 10 grand is overcomable. 20 grand may be overcomable. If I came back and I like
look at you calling your shot.
Yeah, but like every available bit of like credit that I have to me right now is gone. I'm like, hey, like, I work at a bank. I owe my own employer $120,000. I think my wife would be like, yeah, you're fucking, see you later, bud.
Yeah.
There's got to be a threshold.
Your life would change too, because like, even if you did get accepted back into the fold, like, you'd be going to some type of center,
You're going to Gamblers Anonymous.
Yeah, you'd have a real short, and then everything's gonna suck. You may as well stay in Vegas.
No more Deerfoot trips with my boy.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. Just stay down there.
Right?
What would you do? What would be your job? What would your job be in Vegas?
Bottle service girl.
Yes.
Yeah. Sparklers and shit. Like, yeah.
I just sell CDs.
Like Mr. Slim.
Yeah, hell yeah. Fuck yeah, man. Those guys they got my money.
So I feel like the listeners are like, okay, this is a very inside story that we're not privy
to. Vegas. They've been to Vegas.
Do they don't know Mr. Slim specific. Well, maybe they do. Maybe that's his thing. When we were in Vegas, and this was years ago, like I think I just turned 21. We went down, and there was a guy selling mixtapes outside the Bellagio, and I didn't have any cash on me, and he's like, well, just give me, like, what do you got? And I was like, I literally have 10 Canadian dollars. Like, I don't know what good this is to you. Exchange rate was not at par at that point.
You trying to give him some loonies?
Well, I was like, I got two $5, but they're blue. They've got, I don't know, some old prime minister on there that nobody remembers. Well, like, who's on the $5 bill?
I'm laughing because I don't know. It's not Sir John A.
No.
Damn it. I have no fucking clue.
And it's probably different.
Laurier?
Yeah, actually, you might be right.
Oh.
I'm going to Google. I've gone to the Google.
We can't. Keep it going. What happened with Mr. Slim?
Okay, Mr. Slim.
We need a third person. We have all these fucking mics now.
We need a fact checker.
We got to find somebody.
Mr. Slim. So then I gave him like $10 Canadian. He's like, thanks, and gave me his mixtape. I was like, obviously he doesn't value his music very highly because he just took $6.50 American for this CD that he was previously asking like $20 for. And then when we got back to, because we drove down to Great Falls to catch a cheap flight down there. So when we got back, we finally opened this CD and popped it in my CD player in my vehicle. And it was just like, he had a song called Blockwork. And it was just about selling drugs and making rap music.
Selling CDs.
Selling drugs and making rap music in Vegas. And he repeated Blockwork many, many times. It was the title of the song. It was his mantra. Like it was his metronome. It kept him on time. Yeah.
It was the only lyric in the song.
It wasn't good.
We needed that CD when we ran out of gas on the way back from that fucking flight.
Yeah. I was so drunk.
Yeah, you barely got out of Vegas that time.
I did barely get out of Vegas. They almost didn't let me on the plane.
Oh man.
Remember that? They changed my seat and I had to sit in front of the flight attendant so she could supervise me.
I never told you my CD story. I got had. I can't remember. We were outside some establishment and these guys are selling CDs and I was with Megan and I was like, had a bit of cash in my pocket and I'm like, I'm gonna go talk to these guys, get a CD. And my wife, who's not gonna leave me when I lose the house, was like, I don't think that's a good idea. And I was like, do it easy. Okay, country bumpkin. Like, these guys are out here just trying to make an honest living. I'm going to go chat with them. I'm cool, right? They're going to love me. So I went over there, and they immediately approached me. Guys like, yeah, I'm Young Polar Bear. This is my EP. Like, it's 10 USD. I'm trying to cop that. And I was like, yeah, hell yeah. I'm trying to cop that. Like, give me one of those fucking things. Good sir. And what immediately happened is the disc he had on top was like an album. Like it had, like a sleeve, some fucking artwork. And as soon as I agreed to buy it, he flipped that to the back and he just had like a CDR.
Like a burnt disc.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, I was kind of hoping, for the, and he's like, no, I need that one. Like, that's my show. That's the one I show to people. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'll pay for this. Maybe is a CD. And then as soon as that happened, two more guys came up and were like fucking beside me on either side. And they're like, oh, like you're gonna give, Polar Bear some love? Like you need to give me some love. You need to give us some love. And I was like, oh no, I just wanted Young Polar Bear's album. And then the guy that I bought from was like, hey man, these are my people. Like, you can't be coming up here. And it turned to this thing where I basically was now buying every single person's CD. And I just bought CDs until I was out of money. And thank goodness they let me leave. And I'm pretty sure I left them in the fucking room at Planet Hollywood. So I never got to listen to them. Yeah.
And as soon as you walk back to Meg, she's like, so, like,
how did it go? I had
You're
like 4 CDRs.
Is it like, I told you so?
Oh, immediately. She's like, you're so fucking stupid. Like, you're not cool. Now you have no money. You can't get.
You just got bullied by strangers to give. They effectively just took your lunch money.
And they did bully me. Yeah, I felt a little bit taken advantage of. I felt less taken advantage by those men on the streets of Vegas than I did after watching the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight, though. I stormed off. Meg's like, you wanted to what? And I was like, don't shut up. I'm so mad right now. I could have been watching Dragon Ball Z, and instead I'm watching this childish bullshit. Yeah,
could have been watching cartoons.
Yeah, fucking unbelievable. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. Don't lose all your Christmas money in Vegas.
So you're losing all your Christmas money in Vegas. That was your gift to yourself. Your gift to your wife for the next 4 Christmases, as I understand it, was Taylor Swift tickets.
Yeah, I got her a ticket to Taylor Swift in Toronto like 2 weeks ago now.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And did you guys actually come to terms on that? Like, that's your Christmas gift?
Yeah, like that was her pitch. That was not me like negotiating.
Oh, okay.
She was like, if you get me this ticket, you're off the hook for gift giving. And like, it's a running joke on this podcast that I'm pretty bad at giving gifts. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so like for her, this was like, she got 2 birds stoned at once. She got a great gift. She got to go see, her favorite artist. And she also didn't have to put up with my future gift giving efforts. Like, she basically just secured multiple gifts that she will like.
Now, I hope you're speaking of secure. I hope that like your wife well enough that is actually going to play out. In my mind,
no,
I'm
it
like,
already hasn't, because
yeah.
I've already bought her another gift for Christmas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you told me this, I was like, you fool.
Yeah, no, but like, I mean, I didn't want her to go without on Christmas. Like, I want her to have something to open. I know her family will get her stuff, but like, I still want her to get something for me. So like, I bought 1 gift and then I'm done.
Yeah.
I've already said like, I'm not buying any more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I will get her something for Mother's Day.
Your fucking wife is young polar bear.
Oh, she fleeced me. Yeah, she finessed me.
You're going to be buying all of her friends' CDs before you fucking know it, okay? You're hooped. You can't show up on Christmas without a gift. You're going to have one single gift. She got you all this other stuff. And that was the other thing I heard from you, from the horse's mouth. Was I was like, yeah, but it's also Mother's Day. It's also birthday. I'm like, no, Dex, you can't roll them in.
So
there's not one gift that's going to cover them all. Because
Yeah.
then if you actually go through with it, if you're actually going to hit those dates and like wake up on your wife's birthday and be like, well, hey, it's just a Tuesday. I sent you to Taylor Swift 6 months ago. Remember? It's a bad day for you.
No, it's not going to work out that way. I have come to the realization that if nothing else, for my own mental health, just to feel like I haven't absolutely slacked off. But I think the quality and value of gifts will be lower, and I will lean on that. Now, I say that now, and we haven't even come to the first Christmas since I purchased those tickets, or that ticket.
Well, yeah, it's already, your goodwill's already fading.
Yeah.
The gas you built up, it's seeping.
We'll have to ask my wife, right? When she gets this one gift this Christmas, is that sufficient? Well, maybe we'll have to get her on again for like a 3rd episode.
All I got for Christmas was this stupid Taylor Swift t-shirt.
She came back with so much fucking merch. Oh my God. She's got a different Taylor Swift outfit for every fucking day of the week, basically. Like, she's just like, yeah, I'm going to wear my Taylor Swift sweater today. Tomorrow I got my t-shirt.
I had to have someone explain the whole eras concept to me. I didn't get it. I didn't understand it because everyone gets dressed up for the show.
Yeah.
And they're dressing up as a different era. But so I was like, what do you mean era? Era of Taylor Swift. And apparently that's like what you refer to in between albums. Like, this album is an era. 1989 is an era.
Yeah.
But the very first album is not an era.
Yeah, apparently that was a shock to me, is like her country years are
They're not
an
eras.
era.
Yeah, that's just regular Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And
I was having trouble. I mean,
I couldn't follow that.
Yeah. I go to concerts that cost no more than $50 and are standing room only at the Grey Eagle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're at the Grey fucking Eagle, and I can leave
and go afterwards.
Work on losing my
house.
I don't have a house to lose. I got a part ownership in a condo I could fuck up.
Yeah, you could lose your parents' house or your wife's parents' house.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, they listen to this show, so sorry guys.
It's coming.
It's gonna happen.
They're taking like legal action to protect all their assets now.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Okay, I like young polar bear. I feel like he's gonna take off. He just hit me up for a little bit of a loan. I'm gonna get down there. Him and his buddies need some studio time. Oh, I'm so gullible. Okay, Taylor Swift concert. That's what you got your wife for Christmas.
Yeah.
You got yourself a trip to Vegas. So you guys, are you not exchanging gifts? Is there no Dex trench coat thong Christmas list that's getting?
Well, I told her I need some new clothes, some work clothes, because we're still being fitness dudes, and I have found some of my pants are a little loose now.
Oh shit! Yeah, hell yeah.
So I'm like, and also one of my pairs of pants that I wear quite frequently, like the crotch is on its last legs. Like any day, I'm ripping my pants in front of one of my clients.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Why does the crotch have so much wear?
my huge, massive horse cock rubbing against it as I move around, and
Cue Donald Trump. I love that you went to the trouble. Let's pat ourselves on the back. I love that you went to the trouble of creating all those AI voice clips, and it was just like it was 60% wiener talk. Like we were on brand. Okay?
oh yeah, it was very on brand.
If you've listened since the start, you know we like wiener talk. Okay, you know we love wieners,
That is our shtick.
dude. If there was a fart in there, I think there might have even been a reference to a fart. No, there was some farts at the beginning.
There's the American national anthem
Yeah.
with farts, which my daughter gave me shit for as I was editing that beforehand.
Why?
She's like, that's not very appropriate. she's like, you're dissing like the national anthem of like a beloved country, and I was like, you're in grade 1.
And P.S. Most of the show is inappropriate.
Yeah, and also farts are funny.
Yeah, farts are so funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have it? Like, are you expecting anything on Christmas?
Yeah, if she didn't give me those clothes I asked for after what I got her, I'm canceling Christmas.
I'm gonna leave her. For
Probably
her, you gotta
take it to
lose.
that
You gotta
point.
lose the house. You gotta.
For me, I just
Max.
don't get my old Navy pants that I wanted.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I did do a lot of Black Friday shopping. Did you?
I did, and I got to be careful because, I don't want my wife to know exactly what I got her, even though I guarantee she knows exactly what I did get her. So it's kind of inconsequential. But I did a lot of Black Friday shopping.
But you did it for others.
Yeah. Well, I'm a huge online shopper.
I did Black Friday shopping, but mostly for me.
Oh,
Yeah, like I'm just treating myself.
just seeing the deals.
Yeah, I was like, there's some good deal. I wanted new phones. I got a new phone.
I have okay, maybe it's our gambling personalities, but I'll go on Amazon and they'll have the deals under $25, and I'll just kind of like passively go through like scroll down, and I'll just add stuff to my cart. I might buy it, I might not buy it. I definitely don't need it, but it's almost like flyer shopping for me, where you'd read the flyer, just say, oh, Canadian Tire has some good deals, which I also still do. But just I had to stop myself because I had like 13 or 14 items in the fucking cart, and I was like, I don't need any of this shit.
Yeah.
It was like Montessori cutting board. I'm like, oh, Marin, I don't want her playing with the regular knives. These knives look fun. Like, oh, 24-foot USB 3C. That's so. I could take a shit. I could walk out of the bathroom and still be charging my phone.
See my new charger I got?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's a good one. Charges 5 devices at once.
Honestly, tons of that stuff. The power block. I did buy a power block. Just the I don't want to go all the way to an outlet. So I'm going to pre-charge this thing and carry it with me. It's 10 times bigger than my phone in case my phone dies so I can plug it in, Stuff like that. Consumerism.
Oh, that's absolutely Christmas is just consumerism at this point. I feel like there's the only thing that makes me feel like there's still magic left in Christmas is like my kids getting excited about things. Like when we put up the tree and stuff. They're so excited. Kennedy's so excited for, her elf to come and shit like that, right? But for me, I'm like, man, this is just like turn your wallet upside down, dump it as hard as you can, and it doesn't feel special.
Christmas is...
I hate to sound like a fucking bummer, but...
No, yeah, fuck. And this is hilarious because we are going to do some Christmas hot takes. It's kind of a nice segue for our hot takes on Christmas, but Christmas is essentially the fucking Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight.
Yeah.
We all know what it is.
And it comes and goes and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it fucking every year. The minute everyone has the same experience, I'm certain. The minute the last present is opened on Christmas Day is kind of when the magic fades.
Yeah, you're looking at all this garbage. You're looking at all these extra toys. So Alicia and I, every year we go through the kids' toys and we look at what hasn't been touched in the last 6 to 12 months. we're donating that to Mission Thrift Shop, right?
Yeah.
And we go with like literal, like I loaded up the back of the SUV with toys and shit that these kids got, played with maybe for a week, and then never touched again. I'm like, oh, like let's go donate all this stuff we bought or family members bought, and let's do it all again.
You could probably wrap up some presents that they forgot they had.
Oh, totally.
And they'd be like, oh my goodness. But you'll do it again. Like you'll
Yep.
you'll
Oh yeah, we're
absolutely-
gonna repeat this year, repeat next year. Yeah.
It's yeah. I when I take a step back, big picture, like I feel like it's problematic, but like then I immediately engage in it and I fucking love it. I goon, right? And then like the present edging all through December. I get so excited to give this stuff, and like yeah, my kid's gonna forget about it that morning. My kid's gonna forget about it the second they open up the next present.
Yeah.
But you know, to bring it back to not be bah humbugs. Just to get that like moment of elation and see the smile on your kid's face, see the smile on your wife's face when you remind her that her present was 2 months ago and that she's also not getting a present.
Yeah, actually, the gift that I got my wife is just a framed picture of Taylor Swift that I printed on my inkjet.
It's a framed picture of you going to the checkout online. Remember this?
A selfie of me on the StubHub page. Like,
Yeah. I'm hook, line, and sinker. I'll do it. Even though I know it's just a consumer holiday. Black Friday, I had to rein myself in. I didn't end up getting too much off Amazon, and I didn't buy myself anything.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's reined in for sure because I bought myself several things. Well, I got like the new phone, right? And then I was like, oh, I want, I needed like a new charger because the phone came with a free smartwatch.
Nice.
But my existing smartwatch doesn't work. Like the charger won't work. So I was like, I need a new charger. So I got like this charging stand. And then I was like, it would be really cool to have new earbuds.
You got that young polar bear where you said, now you need accessories for your free shit.
Yeah. And I was like, I need a new case for my new phone and like all that shit. And like, yeah, it was all very unnecessary.
I got billed for my old phone recently.
The bring it back. Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Like, I'm such an idiot. You know, there you go.
No, like that I hear that story quite frequently, and I think that they are purposely like, how many emails do you get from TELUS or Rogers, whoever, like once a week? It'll be like, hey, like check out these deals. Check out, we've got new plans, and you ignore, and then they sneak one in there, and they're like, hey, if you don't bring back your phone in the next week, we're gonna charge you $300 that we told you about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get a call from TELUS every fucking day. I don't even get a call from TELUS anymore. I get a call from a third party that they've outsourced to fucking harass me to see if I want home security. And I've taken time. I've been polite to people. I've been like, I don't even have a home to secure. Like, stop fucking phoning me. Are you happy with your TV services? I don't know. I rent. Okay? Like, you need to write down on your computer system right this minute that home security, fucking internet, all that stuff, it's not for me. It's not that I don't use it or don't require it. It's that I'm in a situation where someone else has already handled that. And thus, you do not need to phone me every single fucking day.
Yeah.
And I've actually had that conversation with people, and they'll be like, oh, we're sorry to bug you. Like, yeah, thanks for being a customer. And I'll say, okay, yeah, make sure it's noted. And then I'll fucking hang up, and I'll get a phone call the next day.
Yeah.
Hey, how's your home security? Like, what the fuck? Yeah, it drives me crazy. But then you're right. So I block all the numbers. I fucking send all the emails to the trash. And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, actually those two S22 Galaxy phones that you hate that just like don't work at all anymore, you owe collectively for two of them $750. Merry Christmas. Suck our asses.
Yeah.
That was, I can't remember. That was a bad day. I'd had a bad day.
We went golfing that day, I think, didn't you? Or the day after?
Yeah, but it was like three things that had happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck.
You told me, I think you told me about this last weekend while we were golfing. You're like, yeah, just these things stacked up, and like all of a sudden my financial situation like got measurably worse.
I'd had a good day, and I was riding high because I took my 2-year-old generator back to Costco. And they returned it, no questions asked.
Shout out Costco.
Shout out Costco. Hell yeah. I'm a Costco guy. I give Costco a big boom.
How many double chunk chocolate cookies did you get after that come up?
Oh, God.
Those cookies suck, by the
They're
way.
terrible.
They're not even fully baked.
Other than the hot dog, and it's only good because it's $1.50. Costco food is putrid.
Yeah.
I think, hey, fuck Costco food.
I can go for a poutine. Their poutine's not terrible.
The Cavendish fries. Maybe
Cavendish,
that's
and they use actual cheese curds.
okay, all right, bring it back.
You go get a poutine at some places, and like I
We're
get it.
Costco guys.
Well, I get it if you were like
of course we
in
walk
the
around
US.
with a chicken bake.
I get it if you're in the US and like you go to a restaurant, you order poutine, like you're ordering something so far outside the element of that culture, and they put just like shredded mozzarella on it. You're like, oh, I don't know this is the Jake Paul fight of poutines.
Yeah.
Right. Costco, like they put proper cheese curds on there, and it's good. You know, they get like a little melty, a little squeaky in your teeth when you know.
You're a huge fan.
This is why I'm overweight.
Yeah, Costco brings the boom.
But yeah, the rest of their food is like not good. Yeah, those cookies, they don't. You grab it and it's like just breaks in half immediately because it wasn't baked.
I've honestly, I can honestly say I don't think I've ever had the double chocolate chunk cookie.
It's new to Canada. It's only been here for like maybe a month or two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean,
AJ
try
and Big
it.
Justice just fucking they got it up here.
Oh, they hype it up so much. People were requesting it. They're like, we got to get and then it's like, here's some half baked dough.
It's so busy. That's my thing. It's like Costco's so busy, and then the lineup for food is insane.
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize until I started being like a regular Costco shopper in my 30s. People just go to Costco just for food.
Yeah.
It's essentially the busiest takeout restaurant.
The
in
high school
fucking
students
Okotoks.
in town.
Yeah.
I've gone there a few times, been like, oh, grab a lunchtime hot dog, and you get there and there's 40 kids, just like because it's $1.50.
Yeah. Well, that was it. We got off.
We got
topic.
way off
We got
topic.
way off. I fucking took a generator back. I was having a good time, and then I got my dick pounded in. I can't remember 3 or 4 other things fucking happened. So yeah, Christmas is canceled at our house. My wife gets to open up her 2-year-old phone
Enjoy it.
and watch videos of your wife at the Taylor Swift concert. No, I spend cheese. I'm always I fucking like I didn't buy anything for myself on Black Friday, but like I did get some wicked gifts. I get excited. Look at me waffling back and forth. I hate Christmas. I fucking hate it, but I do love this time of year and the gift of giving. As cliche as that sounds, giving, oh yeah, I'm a giver.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's fun for the kids. And that's why we exist at this point, is to make them happy.
Well, fuck, let's get into some Christmas hot takes.
Hot takes. Maybe I'll put a sizzling sound effect right here.
Ooh. Oh, I was ready.
I don't have one prepared. It'll be in post. All right, sizzling sound effect. Hot takes.
I'll play that hot take jingle you've been working on.
All right, you want to start?
Yeah, sure. Okay. In no particular order. We're just going to go hot take.
Yeah.
You saw my list.
I briefly read it, and then I realized some of these are obviously jokes just for my eyes only, because you would never say them out loud.
Yeah, there was definitely some of those, but I haven't seen yours, so I'm wondering. I'm wondering if this is going to be a throwback where like I have like a really silly list, and yours is going to be
No,
really
I think
well
mine's
thought
very
out.
mine's very much in line with yours.
Okay, and I feel like this has actually come up before, but I'm gonna pull the Band-Aid off. Hot take: Elf with Will Ferrell is a fucking shit film, and people that like it are stupid.
Fair. I know you don't like Elf.
It's ham-fisted comedy. I'm sure in the era, people thought fucking Will Ferrell doing that like adult child thing was awesome. You know, that was still in the time where that wasn't every movie. But the whole premise is insane. I get it. It's a holiday film. It's for children. But at the root of it, you're just watching this like old fucking weird dude who's clearly like mentally unstable, scream and drink syrup, and there's almost nothing redeeming about it other than the fact that Zooey Deschanel's in it, and she's pretty fucking awesome. She's hot.
I think all Christmas movies kind of just suck on the surface.
That's a hot take.
That is, but that's not my hot take. But yeah,
How do you feel about Elf? Or is this going to be a disagree? I've heard feedback that we never disagree with each other.
Yeah, well, it's because we are the same person.
Are we just going to be like hot take? Oh, I like that. I like that take.
These aren't hot takes at all when we just agree with each other.
These are great takes.
I don't have the same level of hate for Elf. If I had to pick a Christmas movie, like it would maybe be on that list. It's way below Christmas Vacation.
Okay.
Which is a classic in my household. But I don't have a hate for it. And I think you're right. You hit the nail on the head. It was like good for its time, or it was like very timely. Where it was like Will Ferrell was at basically the peak of his movie stardom.
Yeah, juggernaut.
And you know what? I was thinking that when you sent me that list, I was like, you know what would have made Elf really good and made it a timeless hit is if they made it for adults. Like it was like a 18A or like PG-13. Like they were cursing and like it's like, oh, you want to go play in the snow, and he like does a couple lines or something. Like,
Yeah.
It would have been that would like maybe they need to remake Elf for modern sensibilities.
All right.
Mine's my first hot take is movie related as well.
Okay.
And I don't know if this is a hot take, but I know some people will defend this, like they will die on this hill. Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie. Stop fucking treating it like it's a Christmas movie because it was set at Christmas time, but that is it. That's all there is. He's like going to see his family for Christmas, and then an action movie breaks out.
Yeah, this is an internet debate. This is a thing.
It's not a fucking Christmas movie. You cannot call just. There are action Christmas movies, but it's like
Jingle All the Way.
Yeah, there are action Christmas movies. This is not one of them.
Okay, is it a good movie? Do you like Die Hard?
I like Die Hard. It's a classic. Well, it's not a Christmas movie. When people are like, "Oh, let's watch Die Hard," fuck off.
It's a designation that you do not appreciate.
I don't appreciate that.
Okay,
don't include it in Christmas movies.
Fuck, guys, I kind of agree with that. Hey, Dex, great take. Another great take. Play that great take jingle.
You're so smart.
We agree on everything. All right. Fucking Die Hard. Not a fucking Christmas movie. Okay, hot take. Not decorating, interior or exterior, makes you an incel.
It could also mean that you don't celebrate Christmas.
Yeah, and that was the feedback I got when I was sharing this list. There's definitely other reasons to not celebrate Christmas, but I do feel like when you walk down any street and you see the Christmas lights, everything is popping, the snow is covering the rooftops, and you've got like nice little displays, and then there's just some wiener butt in the middle who has fucking nothing. Like you don't have $12.99 to string up some LEDs. Okay, like there's not even a huge cost to running that type of stuff.
No, I think if you are celebrating Christmas, you should put in a minimal amount of effort to like make it feel festive.
Yeah,
I think it's a fair requirement.
Collective effervescence. We've used that term before. It's just the time of year. It doesn't have to necessarily be Christmassy, but the holiday decorations, it's the same thing. I would put it in the same category as the people who turn their fucking lights off and don't hand out Halloween candy anymore. And we lived that this year. It was really fucking the first two houses we went to with my daughter. She's like, she loves Halloween. She fucking loves it, right? Everyone respect my family and what I like to do on holidays. That's what this is really boiling down to. But she goes up and she knocks on the door and there's no fucking candy to be had. No one answers the door. I wanted to cry because she turns around, her fucking like pouty lip, like I thought it was Halloween. She's devastated. So you have to go, and then that was the theme this year. Is it was probably every second or third house, absolute nothing. So I'm not saying you have to celebrate Christmas. Okay, all right. It's not a religious thing, but in the holidays, tis the season, you put up a fucking light, or you're an incel.
Okay. My hot take is kind of related to that. I feel like our hot takes are like riffing on each other.
I agree.
No, well, my hot take was going to be actually people are doing too much with Christmas displays.
Oh.
So, I mean, I decorate my house, right?
Yeah.
Like we've got Olaf out front and shit. But specifically, there's this lady across the street. You can look at it when you leave. She's done too much. She's taken it too far. And she's trying to be, it feels like she's trying to one up everybody, right? Like we're all putting up our festive lights and everything. And it feels like this lady's trying to say, you're all pieces of shit. She's got like a whole fucking candy cane lane going up her step. She's got all the lights and everything. And then the thing that really threw me, and Alicia came home the other night and was like, you need to go see what she's doing in her fucking front window. She's put up like a sheet or like, and it's in the window, and she's got a projector playing a Christmas movie out to the street.
What?
Yeah. And Alicia's like, I think like I don't know if she's watching a movie, but when I looked at it, I was like, there's no way that's how you would set up your projector.
She's just letting movies play outside her house? Like,
it's like in the window.
Yeah.
But she's got this huge window in like the bonus room, right? And she's got this sheet or something, like a projector screen or something, but it's like right up against the window. And she's shooting the movie onto that. And it's like clearly playing outward towards the street. Because I was like, you would not set up your projector that way. You would not set up your projector with a window directly behind it. I used to have a projector. Like, you need darkness for it to be any good. So she's just like poorly showing this, like, I think she's showing Rudolph, like the classic, right? She's showing that. And I was like, what the fuck are you even doing?
The stop motion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Is this the same lady with the like racist jockey
No.
caricature?
They haven't done any. That's the only. They're like, we've put out our black jockey, our Jocko, and we need no further decorations. This person lives 2 doors down from me. Like, they've got like the most incredibly racist lawn ornament you've ever seen.
It's unhinged.
It's minstrel show level racism.
It's so fucked up. It's on their fucking front yard.
Like,
oh my god.
Think of the most like stereotypical racist way you can portray a black person.
Yep.
And they have that on their lawn.
Yeah.
And that's the only decoration they have. They haven't put out any Christmas lights.
And no Christmas decorations.
Yeah.
Fucking incels.
And they don't shovel or walk.
Can't gonna disagree. I love this lady. I love the fact that
Okay.
she's showing, just Christmas movies out to no one. She's spreading holiday cheer. My kid would love that.
Well, and so I don't know if you've seen this news story. It just came out, but there's this town in Ontario that put in a bylaw specifically for this one family who was doing like the whole Christmas vacation like light show. Like, they had lights all over their house. It was timed to music. You could go. They had show times. You'd turn on the radio in your car. They had an FM transmitter. It was timed up to the music. Just like fucking LED, like, entire electronic music show.
Yeah.
Happening. And the town put in a bylaw. Can't happen. And a lot of people are like, oh, like, look at all these Grinches putting in this bylaw to stop this family. And the family's like, we're leaving town. We're moving. I was like, that's a hill to die on for sure. But I was like, I get it. Because can you imagine being this person's fucking neighbor and you're like trying to get ready for bed at night and the house is just like strobe lighting through your windows and you've got people parking on the street to watch this light show. There was a house in Medicine Hat that did this when I lived down there. And we checked it out once, and they had show times every 15 minutes. And the street would get so fucking busy. And I was like, can you imagine living on the street as a resident? Coming home from work, long day at work. It's like, I need to park my car, get inside, crack a beer. Like, it's been a day. And there's nowhere to fucking park because 100 people are on your street and it's minus 20 out. And so they're all in their cars, idling, waiting for this light show to start. No.
Eco-terrorists.
It's a little much. It's a little much.
I can, you know what? Okay. I'll give you that one. My parents' neighbors had this crazy Halloween display, and they had like an animatronic, not like fucking Universal Studios, but like a fucking hokey thing that moved around and talked. They had a Frankenstein and a werewolf, and they left these fucking things plugged in 24/7. And the Frankenstein would actually do like the berg, bah, fire. my mom said she'd wake up at night and be like, there's fucking someone outside. Like, oh no, it's just Frankenstein. It's fucking 24 hours. Yeah, so okay.
You gotta put that thing on a timer.
Oh man. And then like the day Halloween was over, these neighbors put up a like giant wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man version of a snowman, a reindeer, and a Santa. November fucking 1st. Yeah, so
they refuse to exist without holiday lawn ornaments.
There's a happy medium in between our two hot takes.
As long as you know what, I think we can both agree. As long as you're not putting racially insensitive statues.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That's you're gonna see that post. We're gonna dox this person. We're putting that fucking. Actually, it's so racist, it's so offside that I think actually taking a picture and putting it on our social medias would get us in trouble.
There needs to be so much context. We need to be like, hey, we do not approve. There needs to be, you know how you could put in like a slideshow on Instagram? We need to have like 2 explainers before it gets to the actual photo.
Oh, it'll be fucking blurred out. Be like, this is sensitive content. Make sure you actually want to see this. Hot take, and I think we're probably going to do a New Year's episode. I don't like shooting our shot anymore because we fucking never follow through, but I feel like we are going to have a year in review New Year's episode.
We got to do that quick because I leave to Hawaii on the 3rd.
Yeah, so maybe we'll do that. So I'm going to tie this one in to our Christmas episode. Hot take, 30 plus years old as we currently find ourselves.
Yeah.
New Year's Eve lacks all significance. It fucking sucks and I hate it.
Yep. I've that is not a hot take in my books, especially when you have kids.
Oh,
It's like I want to get the kids to bed at a normal time still, because if I don't, I pay for it all day the next day.
yeah.
I don't want to get shit faced drunk on especially after the holidays where you've especially you got family in town, you've been drinking through Christmas.
You're done with drinking.
You've been drinking consistently. You've been eating like shit. You've been eating candy and like heavy foods. And you're just like, oh, let's wrap up the year. And I know it's just an arbitrary, thousands of years ago they came up with 12 months, and then this is how we're going to split up our year. On this arbitrary day at the end of the calendar, we're going to absolutely pollute our bodies and get as drunk as possible. Yeah, no, I don't. But I loved it when I was younger, when I was in my teens and 20s.
Everything shuts down the next day. You can't get anything done. I hate staying up late now. Like nothing ever happens that is positive after midnight. It doesn't. No. That is a very fair rule. Like if the last time I was saying on Friday we had stayed up late and watched Hot Frosty. And if you've seen Hot Frosty, you know that that's objectively a terrible fucking decision.
As most Christmas movies are. I was going back to Christmas. It's another shitty Christmas movie.
We should just call this Dex and Drew's regular takes. Agreeable takes that no one is... no contention
Very
here.
Inoffensive takes.
Yeah. So, but there's a perfect example. We stayed up late. Why? To watch this horrible, shitty movie and to feel like shit and to be hungover, and it was awful and I hated it. So to schedule it, to be like, oh, it's because it's this day we have to? Fuck that. Fuck New Year's.
And all the bars are going to double their drink prices.
Yeah,
and
it's super busy, expensive. Fuck, man. Skip.
Yeah.
Delete. I'm just going to put on my vinyl of Young Polar Bear. MC Polar Bear, and just fucking my CDR. Okay, get to bed by 9:30. Yeah. All right. There's another hot take for you.
Here's one. Santa dies this year due to the raw milk fad.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Whoa.
We're gonna look back and we're gonna talk about Christmas 2024 like 9/11.
Okay, Santa just comes down the chimney.
He comes down the chimney, glass of milk, plate of cookies.
Tall glass of milk. It's no way it's not pasteurized. That would be insane.
Who would drink this?
Who would drink this?
Right? So he gets, this raw milk thing is fucking taking off.
What is this? I'm so uninformed. This is more than the Jake Paul fight. I don't know anything about this.
I think it's becoming really big in the US right now. And it's
of fucking course.
Yeah.
The anti-intellectual movement.
Yeah, it's very much tied to that anti-intellectual movement. And people are like, no, you have to drink raw milk because all of the probiotics in the milk, all of the bacteria that helps build up your immune system. Like when we drink pasteurized milk, which pasteurization is one of the greatest health discoveries of all time, has saved countless lives. But they're like, and these people are also tied in with kind of anti-vax movement and that kind of stuff, right? But yeah, people are like, no, you got to get raw milk. And I texted my mom, who's in the cattle industry, right? More on the beef side, but it's all cows are cows ultimately, except the bulls, as we previously discussed.
We also don't know shit about that.
But I was like, would you ever drink raw milk? As somebody who raises cattle, and she's like, no, because you are you are leaving out all food safety procedures, and a farmer can have the best of intentions. I'm gonna, milk this cow in the cleanest environment possible, but ultimately it is still a living, breathing animal that shits on itself and lives in a barn or a field,
right in the pathway of the bee hole. Okay.
And so you can get incredibly sick, botulism, E. coli, all that kind of stuff. But raw milk is the fad now. A
parasite.
And so Santa's going to drink probably no less than a couple million glasses of raw milk. There's limited healthcare access in the North Pole.
He's not making it out of the Midwest.
There's gonna be some family in North Dakota that finds Santa keeled over, fetal position on their living room floor, just pants full of diarrhea.
It's like the Tim Allen movie, but instead of slipping off the roof, he's just fucking drank a bunch of raw milk and a really horrific death. Yeah. Okay.
Some raw milk and some underbaked Costco cookies.
God damn, I love that take. That's another that's another agreeable take, my friend. Okay, well, hot take. I think it's time that we retired Jesus from Christmas.
I feel like that's already happened.
Yeah, man, and I actually don't like I don't feel like that's what's celebrated. Okay, and I also don't want to lose our like 10 religious followers. I'm not
That's half our audience, 10 people.
yeah, I'm not down on Jesus. I'm down with Jesus, okay? You can quote me. I just think that Christmas has nothing to do with anything that resembles like biblical significance anymore. I'm also pretty certain I read today on the interweb that, you know, Jesus wasn't even born on the 25th.
Well, yeah, if you go back to where the stars were positioned, the North Star,
Yeah.
if it were to be positioned as the brightest star in the sky above Bethlehem, rewind 2,000 years, that would have been in July.
Oh, and there's some issues with like the shepherds and like where like that time of year, if that's what they'd be doing with their flocks. I don't know. I was reading all about it today. It has like, you know, no significance in terms of historical accuracy. It's also like it's not what we do. Like, does your family do anything religious on Christmas?
My family does not, and I'm not religious. Alicia's family, I've been to Christmas Mass with her family when we were dating a few times. Yeah.
How's that?
I mean, it wasn't my jam.
Are you not getting too fulfilled by it?
Well, no, but it was funny because, like, God, I love her parents because they were like, we got to go to Christmas Mass, but we've done research and we found the shortest one.
Yeah. And you're almost certainly going drunk. You're doing it out of obligation, and that's what I'm saying. Even like the angel on top of the fucking tree. Let's just put a star up there.
We got a star on ours.
We're celebrating consumerism. We're celebrating the fact that we're going to be hanging out as a family, or we're spending all kind of cheese that we cannot afford, and that's what this holiday is really fucking about.
Pretty much. I think we just need to embrace that and lose all. Let's quit humoring that it's a religious holiday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If it was a religious holiday, like half the shit we're doing would not. Like Jesus famously said, it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich person to enter the kingdom of heaven.
Did Jesus actually say that?
Yeah. Jesus was a socialist, man. Jesus.
We should definitely cancel fucking Jesus.
You got this long-haired, bearded dude who's like, he's like, yeah,
he's a liberal.
Fuck the Romans. Oh yeah, Jesus. Yeah, all the people that like very much like invoke religion and Jesus into their political beliefs.
Yeah, he would definitely be a Democrat.
He would be like, oh yeah, he'd be like, no, that's absolutely not what I'm about.
Yeah, I hate to tell you, all of our American listeners, but Jesus voted Obama and Biden, so suck on that.
I think Jesus probably wouldn't have voted for anybody. He would have been like abstaining. He would have been like, I don't approve of any of this.
I just think he's got enough, right? Easter's pretty Jesus-y.
Yeah.
Okay. You already go to church on Sunday, 52.
And objectively, Easter is a way more hardcore religious holiday.
Yeah, like that one makes sense.
He died, and came back to life. Like that's a story to tell.
He is risen.
Christmas,
yes.
A baby was born. That happens multiple times every day.
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
When's the last time you saw somebody come back to life?
And that, like, what's the? Yeah. Okay. So all right, all right.
So let's get Jesus out of Christmas and really hone in on Easter.
Okay. Let's get that trending on socials, guys. Hashtag cancel Jesus. That's a big one. That's a hit. All right, hot take. Another one that we disagree on. Hey, fuck.
Agreeable takes. We need to bring back crazy Black Friday deals, but in store only. Because I feel like I'm missing out on this like blood sport event that we used to get to enjoy annually, where like it's like we got TVs in the back.
Yeah,
they're 80% off. We've only got 4 of them. And people are just getting trampled. There's fist fights. People are like, like those were fun to watch. We used to watch them and be like, well, I mean, we're better as a society. But like deep down, you were like, no, I fucking love this.
We're objectively worse as a society. We have like no. I actually read the other day that Moneris doesn't even record Boxing Day stats anymore because it's such a throwaway, who gives a shit day in the calendar now. Because there's no sense to get up and go be at a store at 7 a.m. to get a fucking deal Like
And you can just do it on your phone.
yeah, and
the deals aren't as good as they used to be.
And stores don't have to staff people. They don't have to have that fucking inventory brought in before because they're just selling it online anyway. Yeah, I think it's probably better for humanity if we bring some of that stuff back. Not the deaths, not the like trampled deaths.
No, I want the live leak videos of like people losing their lives at the front of a Walmart
to get some fucking bullshit.
Get the cheapest piece of shit TV that just fell off the back of some truck.
To get the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson edition, Rock'em Sock'em, limited edition. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. Hot take.
It's not that hot of a take, but well, maybe I want to see people die for holiday
That's
deals
a hot
is
take.
kind of a hot take.
Yeah, bring it back. I think the world was better. It was a simpler time when you had to go to a place to buy the thing you wanted. You were buying less stuff, I bet. It's too easy to buy shit.
It is too easy to buy shit.
Which is perfect segue for my next hot take. The Grinch was right.
Yeah. I think I saw a meme where it was like, as somebody in their like late 30s, I relate more to the Grinch than I do to the Who's.
Yeah, absolutely. If that green motherfucker comes down the chimney, steals everything, takes all your lights, doesn't even leave a crumb big enough for a mouse, all that shit, Christmas is objectively ruined. There is no...
Which is proving the story.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But like, no, because the story
But would you overcome it like the Who's did?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. The Grinch is right. It's become such a fucking consumer entity. It is so driven by, just the sale of goods. It has nothing to do with religion anymore. And it would not be a thing where people were like, you know what? I'm just happy to be with my people. My kids, we get up and there's no fucking presents. That's a disaster. They're not going to hold hands and start singing da hoo ra hoo. No, fuck that. They're absolutely crushed. Okay? The only thing Christmas is a time to just spend money that we don't have.
Load up the credit card.
Load up the credit card on things that we don't need, that we're not going to remember. And I've been back and forth on the humbuggery, right? I'm like, you better fucking decorate. But I'm also like, the whole notion of it is pretty fucking insane. It's a total do without. We'd all be okay. But if you took it away like the Grinch, no one would be just as fulfilled because they are happy to be with each other, or they're having such a amazing religious experience at Christmas Mass that it's still significant, it's still meaningful. I feel like if you removed it all, Grinch style, it'd be a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, and probably not in the good sense that they proved in the movie.
Yeah. I don't think that would happen. I don't think the Who's come together.
No.
Yeah.
I think there's rioting and looting.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
They get their hands on the Grinch, and instead of being like, wow, we've learned a valuable lesson, they like draw and quarter him in the fucking street.
There's your Black Friday violence. Yeah. There's your Christmas violence.
Man, bah humbug. But here's my next hot take. Christmas music is the fucking worst part about Christmas.
Okay.
We just talked about all the consumerism. We talked about, the loss of what is truly Christmas, which of course is our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Christmas music is the fucking worst. And maybe this is a little bit of leftover PTSD from when I worked in radio, and you would sit there all goddamn day and listen to Christmas music, sun up to sundown. Like 9 to 5 is filled with Christmas music. And for people that are tuning in on the radio driving to work, they're like, oh, this is a nice little like tidbit of holiday festivities. And for everybody else, for people that are working in that, industry, this is horrible. This is a nightmare. And it doesn't end until December 26th. I hate Christmas music.
What's your most hated Christmas song?
Well, we talked about the 12 Days of Christmas a couple of years ago. That one's not even that bad because it makes me laugh now that I've like thought about the lyrics of that one. I think it's some of the remakes, right? So like, my daughter wanted to listen to Christmas music, and I put on like the Michael Bublé Christmas album. I was like, all he's doing is singing like these old like Dean Martin songs, who Dean Martin like just took from someone else. And they're just recycling these same fucking songs. He's singing it like the same way. No hate to Michael Bublé, but like hate to Michael Bublé.
There you go. There's your hot take.
But like, yeah, none of it's good. Like, no, it's just like, yeah, I don't like any of it.
Yeah, it's just like kind of like what would you call it? A rite of passage. You just have to listen to music that you don't like. It's outside your tastes. You know, it's a genre that you would never spin the other 11 months of the year. It's the same music. And even when it is new music, it's new music that is just renditions of stuff that you're already familiar with.
Yeah.
It gets overplayed. It's fucking shovelware. Like it's just like the CD you bought, Mr. Slim, you know.
It's like, how can we fill this up? How can I get another album out this year?
There's not a lot of substance to it.
I will say there's one Christmas song that I do enjoy. And it's because it's unique, it's original, and it's called Partying with Santa by Fighting for Ithaca.
Oh.
Yeah. Band out of Vancouver, I think.
I'll have to check it out.
It's like a pop punk song about how Santa comes down the chimney and he's talking about all the bullshit. Kids don't appreciate anything, and like kind of what we've been talking about.
Okay, yeah, grumpy old men.
Yeah, and then they're like, we're gonna have a party Santa, and so they're like, yeah, we've got the kegs, and we're smoking mistletoe, and like we got strippers on candy cane poles, like, and I'm like, hell yeah, this is a sweet Christmas song.
You piqued my interest. Can you smoke mistletoe?
I don't think it probably causes like insane lung inflammation. Like
it's like eating a bunch of nutmeg. Like it's like if you
I feel
do
like
it
it's
enough,
like smoke. I feel like it would be akin to like maybe smoking like poison ivy or something. Like just don't do it.
I'm a big fan of Christmas Boom by Big Justice and AJ. Bring the boom. Oh yeah, they did their own Christmas version. Bring the boom. Bring the boom. Yeah.
Do you feel like, and I feel like this has been a theme for, like let's say the last 10 years, but like we're rapidly entering a stage where Idiocracy is like a documentary. We are so, and the fact that these guys have made it big is like, to me, this is like one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse. It's a Big Justice and this fucking weird kid.
And the Rizzler, the Panther
Rizzler,
dressed in black.
I'm like, this.
I give your girl the Riz face, no way she's coming back. Fuck yeah. Those guys bring the boom. All right, dude? They're going to be in the history books.
This is the downfall of society.
They're going to look back at 2024 and then be like, you know what people were doing around this time? We got rid of Jesus. And we brought in
the Rizzler.
AJ Big Justice.
We put the Rizzler in the manger.
No, I actually
had to get a double wide manger.
There's a hot take. We live in the worst time. We live in the worst timeline, and we're going to be completely or erased from memory. Either because
I honestly think we are watching, like, this is like if you got a history textbook like 20 years from now,
yeah,
and you're reading the preamble to like the collapse of modern society,
yes.
Like we're talking about right now.
This is the calm before the storm. Yeah. Like this is the fall of Rome.
If you think about it in if you think about it in like World War II times,
yeah,
this is the Hitler appeasement before World War II really pops off.
Oh yeah,
it's like, hey, like, yeah, no, we gave him a few things that he wanted. Everything's going to be fine. And then like you flip the page, it's like chapter 13, the start of World War II, like Hitler invades Poland. Yeah. Like,
and I think either direction, I think if we pull out of this fucking tailspin, it's still going to be looked back on being like, man, how close were we there?
we almost destroyed everything.
Almost destroyed fucking everything. There's no way. We either go that route, and it's like, yeah, no, this is the end of society as we know it for sure.
We're getting so off topic, but I was thinking about this today because I read that article, and I'm sure you've seen it shared around before because it's like kind of, but they're like microplastics are like just everywhere. Like I'm drinking out of a plastic water bottle right now. It's probably filled with microplastics, and they're saying like in a day, the average human now consumes about a credit card's worth of plastic in microplastics from food and drink and stuff.
What? Who says that?
The scientists,
okay.
people that we should be trusting.
Okay, you libtard.
Okay. But scientists are saying this, and like I read that, and I was just like, like I guess I do. But like, what the fuck am I going to do about it? Like, stop eating and drinking? I was just like, well, I can't do anything. I don't run modern supply chains. I can't do any. What am I supposed to start drinking raw milk straight from the fucking cow teat?
I was like, I got an idea.
Raw milk, baby. Right. No microplastics in that. No, but there is, because the cow ate the things in the environment that already had microplastics, and it ended up in the milk. So you're not even getting away from the microplastics with the raw milk. Anyway, I feel like we're at that point where it's just like, what am I even going to do?
Man, go Google 1,000 times magnified image of a hot dog. And it's like exactly what you're talking about. I swear to fucking God. There's just like, because pigs eat so much fucking literal trash and garbage.
You like zoom in far enough, you can see like a Mountain Dew can.
Yeah, on it you can just see plastic. I feed hot dogs. I roll hot dogs in Pillsbury and fucking dough for my kids, and I'm like, look, I've made you a nutritious meal.
What are you supposed to do though? Have some tuna. Well, that's probably got more microplastics than that hot dog.
And like fucking mercury, and it's like almost decidedly a dolphin, probably. Like, yeah, no, dude, yeah, fuck.
This is the start of societal collapse.
Okay, I got last one, a little political, or I got my last one. Because some of the ones I wrote down, I'm not going to fucking say out loud. They were just for you.
I laughed. They did their job.
Okay, yeah, political hot take. Justin Trudeau, okay, you'll love this, Mr. fucking C Plastic. Trudeau's GST holiday is the dumbest shit ever. And the $250 check that is going to come in April is not saving or improving Christmas for any impoverished Canadians. It's a total fucking farce and a political move.
I don't think that's a hot take at all. And I've had this discussion. So there's a few elements to this. And now I'm going to be Mr. Economics.
Yeah, lay it on me. We could use a little substance this episode.
So 5% GST holiday for a limited period of time disproportionately favors the wealthy because they consume more. So they spend more. They're going to, in terms of hard dollars, they're going to save more, right? A person who is genuinely struggling, a 5% save. Would you trample somebody at Walmart for 5% off
on fucking candy and toys? No,
yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah. So I don't think it makes a measurable difference. Other than it, the only thing the government is good at is collecting tax dollars, revenue generation, right? So all we've done is we're further increasing our deficit to give people GST holiday that either they cannot capitalize on due to their financial situation or that they don't need because they are wealthy enough that a 5% discount on something doesn't, that's effectively what it is, a 5% discount, right? Doesn't make any appreciable difference to their finances.
It doesn't move the needle at all. If you're already struggling to make the choice whether you're going to feed your family on Christmas or purchase them gifts, this 5% holiday on select goods is certainly not the catalyst.
And you already don't pay GST on groceries.
Yeah, like it's fucking insane.
Yeah.
And I also have to just take a minute to talk about the people who work in retail, who are already not significant money earners. These are already people who could probably, they're living below the what do they call it? There's the living wage and there's the
there's the poverty line and then the living wage, and I would wager most retail people are living under an actual living wage.
Yeah, and so you basically created this GST holiday, which is just going to be a fucking headache to execute. You've made a lot of people's holiday season worse.
I've heard stories of like people getting berated because they're like, some guy's screaming at them. He's like, there's a GST holiday, you fucking idiot. Like, why you charge me GST? So they're getting berated by this guy who didn't like read the entire 2-paragraph article on Global News. And they're like, well, no, sir, that doesn't start until December 14th.
14th, whatever it is, yeah.
And so, yeah, and they have to deal with this. There's systems in the back end. Like, the retail employee does not pull out a calculator and add up all your purchases and then multiply it by 1.05, and they're like, here, and so it's not like they have to eliminate that last step. Like, no, all these things that scan in and work together and calculate taxes have to be updated in the back end. The IT staff has 2 weeks notice to go update all of this software. Oh, and it's only certain things, so GST still will apply to a lot of items that you will purchase. And so it has to properly apply to certain categories. They basically have to go through every fucking barcode at Walmart and say GST is not going to apply to this for 2 months, and GST will apply to this one for 2 months, and moving forward. So there's that element to it. It's an inflationary policy, right? You're convincing people to spend more money. We just finished getting inflation tamped down, and then they introduced inflationary policy. And then also the $250, unless you're like so incredibly poor, like living well below the poverty line, $250 does not move the fucking needle one bit.
4 months after Christmas.
Yeah.
And what was it, 2004?
Your credit card bill's already come due and gone, and like you've got 3 credit card bills from Christmas before that.
2004, 2005. When were Ralph Bucks? Where like every
it was 2005 or 2006, I think.
Yeah. Okay, every Alberta citizen.
Yeah.
received $400. Like, that was substantial. You're talking about in 2025, $250 per household.
Now the thing is that might not actually pass. I don't know if you saw the news today. So the GST holiday is passed. I think that passed today. No other party, including the NDP, wants to support the $250 check. The Conservatives, because they say that, this is useless. You're trying to buy votes, which is probably the correct, take on it. Which I don't think it's going to sway that many votes. I don't think it's a smart political move. Nobody's going to get $250 and be like, get some voting Liberal.
No, it's a
right?
It's a
like
you're
you're not buying votes with that amount of money, right? And then the other part of it is the NDP is kind of on the other side where they're saying, well, this doesn't include enough people.
Oh, you need seniors. It's not just working age.
Which I think is also a fair point. If you're going to hand out checks, it should be to the neediest people. Again, $250. I'll take it. It doesn't move the needle for me one bit.
Justin, if you're listening, I'm going to immediately put that in the VLT.
Oh yeah, it is probably
maybe. Well, I guess
I'm going to try and I'm either getting 250, 0, or 2,000.
Yeah,
I'm going to try and parlay that, But yeah, so it's like it's just bad policy. I think it's inflationary policy, and I don't think anybody's truly going to benefit from it. You had to have worked last year and made under $150,000, but if you did not work or earn any income, you do not qualify.
So all these people who can't find jobs and like are impoverished,
they don't get
qualify?
the check. No, fuck you.
Man, it's so
but
insane.
somebody who made a family, who husband made 140, wife made 140, they both get 250. They get 500. They probably don't need it as bad as somebody else. Yeah, no, it's not good policy, and yeah, it's not going to help with Christmas.
I also think there's an angle too, and hot take, Danielle Smith. She's talking about not only these people in the retail sector that are going to be kind of put out by having to go through this process and actually, have like a more stressful holiday season trying to enact this policy, but you're going to create more labor for small businesses that have to go through now and sort this out.
Yep.
And you've also fucking probably diminished sales in the first half of the month because people are going to wait till the GST holiday fucking kicks in.
Yeah.
So like, if anything, you've slowed down the fucking.
You've potentially delayed some purchases.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, again, effectively, I don't know how much that's going to happen. Maybe a few people delay their purchases to save 5% if they're buying like a big ticket item. Right. But I think for the most part, like I'm personally not delaying purchases to save 5%. I'm not buying anything big enough where a 5% savings is going to matter greatly.
And you already said this. If you're holding off to make a huge purchase,
you have the wealth to accommodate.
You've got money.
Yeah.
You're not fucking helping anybody with this tax holiday.
No, you're helping people who have the means to consume.
Yeah. Merry fucking Christmas.
Anyway, it was terrible policy.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the other part of it is there's a lot of provinces that have HST. Like we think about in Alberta, that's the only tax we pay, right? But there's provinces that have HST, and a few of them, I think Quebec has said they're not going to put a holiday on their PST or HST. So that's like 13% still.
I think Uncle Dougie came out and said he was going to
do it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if BC is going to do it, but anyway. So you've got all this disjointed. So if you run a national company or your business operates, even an online business, you have to charge taxes where the buyer is, right? So if you operate a business in Alberta that sells across Canada, you've got to make sure you have the infrastructure in place to properly charge taxes. Oh, this province is also held off on their PST, but this one's not, right? Like that's a lot of work for like a small business owner that operates online for what is ultimately a 5% savings. Which if somebody posted and they're like, we're having a 5% sale, I'd be like, get fucked. I'm actively not shopping at your store because you thought that was worth promoting. Right? Like nobody does that.
Man, who told them it was a good idea?
I don't know. Well, did you see Freeland? She came out and she's like, there's a vibe session. I was like, shut the fuck up. Like that's the dumbest term I've ever heard.
What?
Yeah, the vibes are off. So saving 5% is going to bring the vibes back.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, no, there's not a vibe session. There's an active recession.
And end of society. Here we go.
Yeah. We're marching toward. It's crazy that we've talked about this before. Man, now we're getting like a little political and knowledgeable, but there's this Overton window that we've talked about before, right?
Yeah.
And it feels like you've got some people on the right And there you got Trump's 25% tariffs. You have Canadians for some reason that are like, hell yeah, that's my guy. It's like, no, he's trying to kill our economy. I don't think you understand. And then you've got people on the left who are like, well, we just got through inflation. Like, let's send out $250 checks to fucking everybody. It's like, well, no, like, what do you guys do? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? you fucking people over here with your 25% tariffs, that's inflationary. That's stupid. You people over here with your 5% GST holiday and $250 checks, that's inflationary. That's stupid. Like, can we not just all agree that like we went through this very difficult period of inflation and spending power's down and all of that, and we got through it as a society, and it's been tough and people are still struggling, but like that's just how shit is, and we just kind of need to like keep powering through. But everybody's like, no, we got these big policies. But I feel like the average person is like, no, thank you. Anyway, okay. I have my last hot take. That wasn't my last.
There you go. I like it.
Getting blackout drunk at the company Christmas party is an activity that should be revered, and all actions short of sexual harassment of colleagues should be without consequence during the company Christmas party. And here's my take on that. Your company will, throw a Christmas party. They'll give you the drink tickets or open bar or whatever. They encourage you to have a great time. This is one of the few times many of us will actually get anything extra from our companies throughout the year, right? And then they're like, oh, but like, don't get too crazy. It's like, no, you plied me with alcohol, Diddy. Like, corporate Diddy. You gave me booze. You gave me food. You kind of took the reins off. We're all having a good time, and now you're gonna be like, oh, but like, don't get too political. Like, don't say anything silly. It's like, no, I'm drunk. Like, of course I'm going to say something silly.
Yeah, you need a get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
You need a HR pass as well.
Here's
your
absolutely.
drink tickets, and here's your like, you can say any of this stuff. I mean, it's obviously a thin line.
I think you have to draw a hard line, but it has to be noted. It has to be like, okay, like once you start grab assing your coworkers or like, making racist comments, like that's the hard line. But like, can we have a fun drunken conversation about how stupid a GST holiday is and like, make fun of our leaders and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can we leave an upper decker in the fucking staff washroom?
Totally. Can we say some shit to our bosses? Can we maybe like,
Yeah, save your drink tickets. I just get to like
yeah.
I just get to come up to you and say some shit.
I'm stone cold. Hit the breathalyzer. I'm 0.0, but I've just been shit talking the boss for 2 hours.
Yeah, what a flex. You start with the shit talk. You say some wild stuff. Boss is like, wow, Dex is sure on one. The end of the night, you're like 0-0.
You get in your car and drive home. Hell yeah.
Yeah, all right. Again, I couldn't agree more, buddy.
Yeah, that was not a hot take. Everybody wants that. Yeah, that's not a hot take.
No, let's just do it. Let's just see. There's the Overton window. We're in the era. Like, let's just try it.
Yeah.
Let's just fucking see what happens, man. Less crazy shit is going on right outside.
Yeah, there's a kid named the Rizzler who is on fucking Jimmy Fallon. Makes more money than I'll ever make.
He brings the boom. Christian brings the boom, all right? It's his real name.
I'm going to kill the Rizzler.
All right. Hashtag cancel Jesus. Hashtag kill the Rizzler. You heard it here first. Man, contentious, but not so contentious.
No, I
think
episode. Most, especially our listener base, most of them will be like, yeah, that's agreeable.
Yeah. Hey, let us know if you agreed or disagreed with any of our hot takes. Dex is going to Hawaii, so maybe we won't do a New Year's Eve episode, but we'll try. We're going to try. I got time off.
As long as we get it in, maybe before the new year.
Yep.
It can be something that our listeners who agree with us on not going out on New Year's Eve can sit and listen to.
Yeah.
On New Year's Eve, gather the family around.
I just love making resolutions. I feel like that's a fun angle.
I don't do that. I don't do the resolutions.
You're not very resolute.
For the next episode.
Yeah, let's can it. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Crisis.
To you and yours, Merry Crisis indeed.